lovelies, I just coming on here to show you how to do a love binding spell. Everyone loves their lover. Some people want to bind them to them. This is what I do for client work. I know I look half asleep, but I haven't put no makeup on today because I just can't be bothered. So today we are going to do a love binding spell, and I'm going to show you what you're going to need. You're going to need 2 red candles. You're going to need some rose petals, some dittany of Crete, and some catnip. And you will need a rose. It could be a fake rose, it could be a normal rose, whatever. You can use any love oil that you want. You can use Adam and Eve oil. You can use any love oil. Like I said, you can use Come To Me oil. Any love oil that you have. Doesn't matter what love oil you have, you can use it. So now I'm going to show you what you need to do. So bear with me a second. If I go quiet, then you know that I am doing this for a client, actually, and I'm going to show you what you need to do. So what I'm doing is I've got the red candles here that I'm using, 2 red candles, and I actually need some red thread, if I can find it. Where the bloody hell I put it? I'm going to need red thread because I'm going to bind the candles together. So I'm going to use some red thread here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the candles and write each name on each candle here. So I'm going to, firstly, you're going to have the names wrote, I've got the names wrote down, and I'm going to write them on the candle. So the first one you'll put the male on, and the other candle you put the female on, and so forth. But you can like do it any other way, male, male, female, female, like whatever way that you want. This is why I'm doing the video, to show me doing it for you. So first off, you want to be putting the names and date of births on each candle. So that's what I'm doing here. So first off, I'm going to put his name. So I'm going to write, make sure you inscribe right into the candle. That's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing anyway. I'm inscribing really deeply into the candle here. So firstly, you're going to put, I'm going to put, his name into the candle. The man's name. The male name. So firstly I've put the male name. Now I'm going to put the female's name on the second candle and the date of birth as well. I'm using red candles because red is significant for love work. So I'm just going to write her name into the second candle here. So now I've done that. You want to make sure that it's inscribed really deep into the candle here. So it's all on the candle. That's what I do. I inscribe it so it's really deep inside. So you want to push it down so it's really deep inside. Because what I'm doing is, now I've wrote the names inside the candle, I'm going to obviously dress it with oils, and then I'm going to put herbs into it. So you're wanting the herbs to go inside of the name. So now that I've wrote both names on the candles, what I'm doing is I have the names wrote on a piece of card, and I'm going to stick that underneath the plate here. So first off, I'm going to use some catnip to dress the plate. Here, if I get the lid off, that is. So I'm going to dress the plate with catnip, because catnip is good for love here. So I've put a load of catnip on the plate here. There we go, catnip. And I've also sprinkled some cinnamon on here. So I've sprinkled some cinnamon, and I've got some dragon's blood incense burning in the background. So you have cinnamon sprinkled on the plate, and some catnip. Dittany of Crete is good for love and passion, so that's what I'm putting on here. Dittany of Crete. I love Dittany of Crete, it's beautiful. A lovely friend called Ruth sent me this, and I'm going to have to ask next time she goes over to Greece if she'll get me some, and I'll give her some money for getting me it. Yeah, get a big huge bag like this, and it will. I've had this over a year, so it's lasted me a long time. So she was lovely to get me it. So I've got some rose petals, so I'm going to put some rose petals on the plate as well here. So, like I said, what I'm using is rose petals, Dittany of Crete, cinnamon and catnip here. So now that I've got that, you have your candles. I have the candles here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move the plate over to one side. I'm going to use my oils. Which oils am I going to use? I'm going to use a love oil here. Adam and Eve oil here. And what I'm doing is I'm going to rub the oil into the candle and state my intentions. I'm not going to speak it out loud, obviously. I'm going to state it in your mind. When doing spell work, I state my intentions. So that's what I do. So I'm going to take the name one with the man on, with the male on, name on. And I'm going to do that now. So while you're doing this, if you're binding yourself together with like a lover, I obviously state that you're going to be binded in love together. So I'm going to do the other one. Okay, some more of the Adam and Eve oil. I'm stating the names as well in my mind. So what I've done there, I've done that there. And, oh God, I nearly dropped the bloody oil. Now I'm going to take these here, the candles together, and I'm going to bind them together with a thread. Red thread, preferably. If you still have oil on your hands, put the oil onto the thread. That's what I'm doing anyway. I put the oil on the thread anyway, here. I always put oil on the thread when I'm doing love bindings. Excuse me, itchy nose. So I take both candles here and I literally bind them both together, and as I'm binding them, when I'm tying knots into them, I state both names and what's going to happen. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say it in my mind. And when I tie the knots, I state the intentions. Three knots. So now you have the candles, they're literally bound together now. So I've got the plate here, and I'm going to sprinkle the candles with catnip, because catnip is for love. So that's what I'm doing. I'm putting catnip on the candles here. You could use periwinkle if you wanted, if I wanted to, but I haven't got any periwinkle at the moment. But I love to use catnip anyway. I've also used a tiny bit of ground. That's one thing that I didn't say a minute ago. I used ground coriander on the plate as well. So now what I've done here, as you can see, the candles are all herbed up and all oiled up. So what I do now is I will take the candles and I will fix them to the plate. So bear with me a second. So now that it's bound together, this is what it looks like here. It's really, really pretty. Like I said, the herbs that I use is ground coriander, cinnamon, rose petals, Dittany of Crete, and catnip. And the oil I used was Adam and Eve oil. And this is what it looks like. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to light it up now. And I'm going to set the intentions over the top of it and let this burn. So now that it's all lit up and the words are stated over the top of it and the intentions, I let this burn down for 5 days. So I let it burn down each day for a few hours and snuff it out. And then when I light it up, I state the intentions of what I want to happen again. That you'll be binded together in love and brought back together. So this is the love binding spell. I hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed it.